Good morning, everyone. It is Miss Ginny from the Rotary Children's Library. Today we are doing crafting with Ginny, and we are going to be making a toilet paper squirrel. Now I'm just waiting for a few minutes to see. I've invited a couple guests. So far they haven't responded. So I'm just waiting to see if they're going to be joining me or not. If not, we're going to continue on with our craft. So I'll just give them another minute or so. All right. I don't see any response at this point. So what you're going to need for this craft is you're going to need one toilet paper roll. You're going to need some craft foam. Now, I didn't have enough brown or black. I didn't really need black, but I didn't have enough brown. So my squirrel today is actually going to be made out of red foam. I know it's kind of weird, but I looked everywhere in the dollar stores, everywhere in the craft stores in Drayton here, and I couldn't find any brown. So that's what we're going to use, and the face is going to actually be in kind of a pinky color, but ideally what you'd want is brown. Now there are black squirrels too, so you can do it in black foam. And the reason I'm suggesting foam, and you also need some white because you're going to be needing some white for the teeth and the eyes. So the reason I'm suggesting brown, of course, is because that's the natural color of the squirrels, but there are different colored squirrels. There are even some red squirrels, not quite as red as my craft foam, but there are some red ones. The other thing you're going to need is a glue stick, some scissors, a pencil, and you might want a thicker felt pen or a thinner one. I use Sharpies. The other thing I kind of wanted to use, and it's up to you, but I used a little bit of batting. If you have cotton batting, you can, or you don't have to use that at all. And I got some pom-poms. So I got some different color ones like browns and sort of beigey. And then you need one black one for the nose of the squirrel. Now, I did attempt to make this in cardstock, which was okay, except for it rips too easily when you try to put your toilet paper roll in. So I would suggest if you have foam, foam would be the better one. You just have to be really, really careful. I was careful with putting the toilet paper roll in, but it was really difficult. So that's why the foam stretches so that your toilet paper roll will fit in a little better and it won't rip quite so easily. All right, so I'm just going to put you down onto where I'm going to be working on my craft. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to trace. First, you're going to print off the templates that are online through our website at the DraytonValleyLibrary.ca. And I did send this to the couple of the participants just to make sure that they got it. So you have the body of the squirrel, as well as you have the face parts of the squirrel. So this is the face here. You don't really need to cut that out. That's just what the face is going to look like. So you just need to cut these out. Once you've cut those out, like I have, I've cut all those parts out. Then you're going to trace those onto your foam sheet. Now I traced the body on, and as you can see, I also followed the picture. Just follow the picture on your template, and I put in those little dotted lines you can see there and there, because that's where we're going to need to cut afterwards. So this is the body, and I did it in red, like I said, and then I traced out the head in red. Again, if you have brown, even better. I wished I would have had brown. Then I traced out the parts of the face and I put them in pink. And I cut them out. And then I also traced onto my white foam, I traced the eyes and the teeth. So And then you can see with the felt pen, I just use that to put black eyes there so that there's little white spots in the middle. So that's what I did there. All right, so your next step. So now I'm going to put it down to where you can see it. I'm just going to move some things out of my way here. Let's just move this paper and stuff out of my way. So your next step is you're going to want to put the head on. So the first thing you want to do is you want to do up your face. So you take your face. I'm going to put that down here. You can see I'm taking my face here. And I've got this part of it for the face, this part of it for the face. So again, you're just going to look at your picture. Let me just get that back here so you can see. Look at your picture and you'll know where to glue those on. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, get your glue stick. And you're going to want to glue this part here. This part, there's the eyes, but this part that's around here goes like this. You're going to want to glue that on there. And not too high. So what I did was I first set it on just to see that I've got it in the right spots where I want to put it. Let's just see if that's the right way. No, this is the right way. So you want this sort of pointy end down near the bottom. And I'm going to just set it there so I know where I want to glue my face on. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on the back. And I'm going to glue it in its place. Make sure it's kind of got the same sort of evenness on either side. And now I'm going to take this piece and glue it on. All right, so we're getting the face made. Just glue that on, and I just overlap it a little bit. All right, so you can see we have that so far. Now we want to glue on the eyes. So once you've drawn your eyes, again, I just did some circles, and then I left a little bit for pupils of the eyes there, so you can see the little bit of white. Now the eyes are going to go right in here. So you're going to put them on right about there. There you see, he's got his eyes on. Now, you want to also put his teeth on. So the pointy end that looks like an arrow is going to go up here. And you're going to kind of slip it underneath there. But before you do that, I think before you glue your teeth on, I would glue your nose on. Then you have a better idea of what's going where. So put some glue onto your foam and stick your black nose on. There you can see the face is starting to develop. Then what I would do is I would put your teeth right underneath here so that it fits. And you're going to put glue on the back of it to glue your teeth on. So just like that. And then what I would do is I would take either a thin or a thicker felt pen, and I would draw in these little lines right here underneath the nose. I'm going to use a thicker one because that looks like it's going to work a bit better. All right. On either side. There you can see we have the squirrel's face. I know he looks funny because he's in red, but again, as I explained, I didn't have any brown. Now, the other thing you're going to want to do, you can see on this where I've put some dotted lines up here and some down here. Now, I do have an X-Acto knife. If you have one, that will work. But for kids, of course, that's too dangerous. You can use a pair of scissors to make those lines. So all you're going to do is just make slits. So I'm going to get a piece of paper, another piece of foam, so I don't cut on my table here. And I'm going to just go along those dotted lines with my X-Acto knife. And like I said, you can do it with scissors, just be really careful. You can start it out with a pair of scissors and you can easily cut through the foam that way. Then you want to do the same on the bottom where that line is. You can see the dotted line. Because that is where you're going to be fitting your toilet paper roll in. So you'll need to have that line there. And if it's not quite all the way through, just take your scissors or your X-Acto knife again. Don't have kids using X-Acto knife. It's too dangerous. Parents need to do that part of it. Okay, so now you can see I've made room for a toilet paper roll. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do with your toilet paper roll, you're going to want to cut it. You want to take off 1 inch on the bottom. So I've already cut one. So you can measure with your ruler, if you have one, you can measure 1 inch. So you want to go to about there, all the way around and cut that off so that it's shorter like this. The other thing you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to glue your head on to your squirrel. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of the head. Actually, I'm going to put it on the squirrel himself. It'll be easier that way since I have a nose there for the squirrel. Now you can see I have my squirrel already set up there. So now that I have my holes there, here's what I'm going to do with my shorter toilet paper roll. You're going to squeeze it through from one side to the other. You can start from the top and go to the bottom, or start from the bottom and pull it up from the top. Just be careful not to rip the foam. This is why I use foam, because like I said, I tried to use cardstock or even construction paper and it rips too easily when you try to put the toilet paper roll in. Because you want this squirrel to hold, right? You want him to hold what he's got. Now, of course, we know that squirrels, so there's our squirrel, we know that squirrels collect acorns. Well, the toilet paper roll is a little bit small for an acorn to fit in there. And so that's where we're going to use our pom-poms to pretend those are acorns. Now, to prevent them from falling through, I used a little bit of batting. If you have some at home, you can use some. If you don't, just use some cotton batting. So I pushed it in from the bottom, just so that it's in there and it'll hold what pom-poms I need in there. You want to leave a little bit of room at the top so you can put your pom-poms in there. So now I'm just going to put my pom-poms in because he's got a whole, basically like a basket full of acorns. And that is our squirrel craft, our toilet paper squirrel craft. I know he looks a bit funny because he's in red, but if you have brown, go ahead and use brown. And the other thing, if you want to do, just to make him look a little more defined, you can take your Sharpies, your black markers, just show his toes a little better on the bottom. Like I did, just draw some lines to show that that's where his toes on. If you want to outline around his eyes, we might do that too. Let's see. Just to show his eyes a little more, put some black around to outline his eyes. It just kind of makes it stand out a little more. So that is our squirrel craft for today. So I hope you had as much fun as I did, and happy fall day. I hope you make some awesome squirrel crafts. Make sure you send me pictures once you make your craft. All right. I will talk to you again soon. And don't forget, this afternoon, there's Crafting with Ginny at 3:30, and we are going to be making an acorn craft. Of course, squirrels love acorns, so this one will be fun too. All right, talk to you later. Bye.